What's going on, everybody? C4 here. Welcome back to the channel where today, as requested by you guys on Twitter, follow me at Twitter at PopXC4 to get, involved on content-related questions and decisions. We're doing a mock draft, a 2-round mock draft, our first 2-round mock draft on the channel post-combine. And I'm still getting over the cold, and I had like a 30-minute video recorded, and snot was just profusely running on my face. So I was like, I'm going to go eat supper. I'll come back record it after. And well, that happened. The Jags traded AJ Bouye to the Denver Broncos. I changed my mock draft just a little bit. So what we're going to be doing today, through the mock draft machine here on the Draft Network, we're going to select all these teams. I'm going to use my own big board. Another great tool that you can utilize on the Draft Network's website is make your own big board. Rank all your players how you want. And when you do your mock drafts, you can go from that pool versus using the pool of, suggested picks and all that stuff. And obviously me being a smart ass thinking I know more than anybody, of course, I want to use my mock draft here. So we're going to be doing 2 rounds. Let's do it. So the first thing I like to address when I do mock drafts right before is because, it's serious when we're bringing out the old Retro Eagle starter jacket is I hate hipsters. I hate hipsters. I hate everything about hipsters. I hate hipster picks. I hate picks that people just make for the sake of being different. If there's no context to it and you're just doing it for the sake of being different, brutal. So we're going to start here. Pick 1. It's Joe Burrow. That is the selection. It appears they're going to franchise tag AJ Green to keep him around and give Joey B a great weapon, even though he has very small hands. Got to think about that. But then again, your president in America has small hands. He seems to be milking out pretty fine. Pick number 2 for the Washington Redskins. Now, there's some rumors that the Redskins could pull an Arizona Cardinals and just keep drafting a quarterback, admitting and giving up on Haskins, his new regime there with Ron Rivera, and go with Tua. That would be interesting. It could happen, but again, I just think given Ron Rivera's defensive background, Chase Young going to be the pick. I mean, if you're ranking, we're at the start of a new decade, but if you're including this year and the previous 10 years, Chase Young probably makes the top 5 edge rushing prospects since then. I think you put both Bosa's ahead of him, Myles Garrett ahead of him, and then for the rest of the guys, it's up to debate, honestly. So I think if you're the Washington Redskins, you pretty much can't mess up this pick. And if there is a suitor, a team that doesn't have a first-round pick that could be looking for a quarterback, thinking Chicago, thinking Pittsburgh, if one of those teams are going to give you a pretty big haul for Dwayne Haskins, maybe you do pull the trigger on Tua Tagovailoa at pick 2. But for right now, we're going to keep it clean. We're going to keep it easy. Chase Young. Pick 3, Detroit. Now, this is where it's open to interpretation as my big board here. I have seen Simmons mock to him. I have mocked Simmons to him. Derek Brown kind of makes sense, especially because they released Snacks Harrison. However, we're going with Jeff Okudah, outstanding combine. I mean, obviously, if you don't watch anything, you think all corners that are elite get to run 4.3s. You might have been disappointed by his 40-yard dash time, but his footwear, everything technically about him is outstanding. Long-rangey corner. And when you look at the Detroit Lions, I mean, is Darius Slade going to be on the roster next year? Are they going to move on from Darius Slade? They have Darius Slade. Hey, Jeff Okudah on the opposing side for him. Sounds pretty amazing. But Matt Patricia absolutely is going to have to go defense here at pick 3 if they do not trade out. And I think right now, Okudah, that's a great landing spot for him there. Pick 4, we have the New York Giants. I think Derek Brown for the memes makes sense just because, Gettleman will just continually try to build up his defensive line. I mean, when you look at the free, are they going to re-sign Leonard Williams? What's going on there? What's if they don't re-sign Leonard Williams, Derek Brown makes a little more sense. They could get Isaiah Simmons. When was the last time the Giants had a good linebacker? However, I think they got to go offensive line. Wirfs and Thomas I have as my 1 and 2 tackle. But we're going to have them select Mekhi Becton. You know why? Because Dave Gettleman is so remedial as a general manager, his tendencies, he doesn't try to mask his tendencies. You know what he's going to do. He wants the big maulers on the offensive line. We saw with the Will Hernandez pick, which actually was a really good selection. Who did he pay? Who did he make at the time the most expensive tackle in the National Football League? Nate Solder, getting him over the New England Patriots. What do we know about Nate Solder? Oh, he's 6'8" and like 330 pounds. You know who's not 6'8", 330 pounds? Wirfs or Andrew Thomas. But you know who is? Mekhi Becton, who had an insane combine. He's a tremendous athlete, 6'7", 370. A lot of people were surprised when I had him fairly high in my Madden draft classes. You're like, why is this Louisville guy? I think I actually had him ahead of Jedrick Wills. You're like, why is this Louisville guy there? I was like, damn, I was watching Cunningham. I was watching Tutu Atwell at Louisville. And then I just saw this eater of worlds, this monster human being, move like a ballerina dancer. It was freaky to see. I've been on the hype train for a while. And I think for the Giants, it makes sense. If Gettleman's going tackle, well, I think he's a first-round tackle. I don't think he's the best tackle in the class, but he fits the mold. And Gettleman is as straight and narrow on his ways as you could possibly get. So I think that's the pick for the Giants. Pick 5, we have the Miami Dolphins. I'm going to have them select Tua. As long as the health is all fine, he's going to be their quarterback. And they're in a good scenario because if he's not ready, you're probably not going to rush him anyways from the injury. You got Fitzmagic, and Fitzmagic can win you games, and he can make do until it's time to unleash Tua on the NFL. Pick 6, we have the Chargers. Plenty of areas they can go. We do know that Phillip Rivers is gone. They're probably going to re-sign at least one of Melvin Gordon and Austin Eckler. Hunter Henry, what's going on there? Either way, the biggest issue is quarterback for them. So I am going to have them select Justin Herbert, the quarterback from Oregon. Really did help improve his draft stock during this entire offseason. I think if they make this selection, however, you got to make at least, you got your second, third, fourth, fifth. At least 2 of those picks need to be offensive line. Their offensive line is garbage, and a guy like Justin Herbert, from someone that watched a lot of him at Oregon, needs a good offensive line. He had a tremendous offensive line at Oregon. But that kind of, if you have a bad offensive line, you're going to lead him and expose him to what he's not good at. It's bad decision-making under pressure. So if you are the Chargers and Herbert is going to be your guy going forward, build that offensive line up. Pick 7, Carolina Panthers. They're in a real great spot. Panthers, out of all these teams so far, are sitting pretty if we're not doing any trades because they need to get better at run defense and they need to replace Luke Kuechly, and you have both those options here. But I just think, given Derek Brown, given the D value of run stuffing D tackles, I mean, Vita Vea went, 13? He went in the teens. Dex Lawrence went, late teens. I think 7 might be a little too rich for a guy like Derek Brown, who I have my number 4 player in the draft. So I'm going to actually have them select Isaiah Simmons. He fits a Matt Rule defense. Very athletic, Swiss Army knife type player. Matt Rule is open-minded enough to find different way to utilize him on the defense. They're not just going to pigeonhole him as a linebacker. I think it's a great spot. Plus, they need to replace Luke Kuechly. Pick 8, we have the Arizona Cardinals. I think they should go tackle. We're looking at their free agents here. Marcus Gilbert and Kenyon Drake are slated to be their 2 big free agents. But, if I'm them, I'm going Wirfs. I think Wirfs fits an up-tempo offense. However, I think the pick, what we learned last year with them going Kyler Murray, they make weird picks. They're going to go against the grain. I'm going to have them select CeeDee Lamb. They're going to reunite Kyler Murray with CeeDee Lamb. I think that it's not a bad pick. I mean, your best wide receiver is still Larry Fitzgerald, who's super old. And you get a guy like CeeDee Lamb, you're going to have a healthy wide receiver core. Like for a Cliff Kingsbury offense, when going forward, you're probably going to want 4 wide receivers. Most teams you think about 3, your 2, your X, Y, and Z's, but you're probably going to want a lot more for that air raid. So the fact, assuming Larry's gone after next year, Larry Legend, CeeDee Lamb, Christian Kirk, Andy Isabella, Hakeem Butler. You got the dude from Fresno State. I can't remember his name right off the top of my head. There you go. That's your wide receiver core. Wide receivers are very valuable in every offense, but more so in a Kyler Murray, Cliff Kingsbury offense. And I think that's a nice little reunited, even though I don't think it's the best value for them. I wouldn't be surprised to see that happen. Pick 9, we have the Jacksonville Jaguars, who just traded A.J. Boye for a 4th-round pick. Again, as an Eagle fan that needs corners, a little frustrating to see that's the price that a guy that 2 years ago was one of the best corners in the league. Trust they made the right decision. However, I think sitting here at 9, the pick is going to be Derek Brown. I think they go best player available. They whiffed on Taven Bryan, which is annoying because I like Taven Bryan at Florida, even though I didn't think he was ever a 1st-round pick. Darius is probably going to be a cap casualty. Everyone on that defensive line is most likely going to have to get rebuilt. Now, I will state that if I'm the Philadelphia Eagles at pick 21 up here that want Henry Ruggs, if I'm finding a team that probably wants as more picks, I think that's the pick Philly would trade with. If Philly was going to trade up to get a wide receiver that's really fast, I think that pick 9 with the Jags is the option. But either way, Derek Brown at 9. I mean, you still get your probably pick of the litter at pick 20 at what you can do. Pick 10, Cleveland Browns. They're laughing. They need tackles. I mean, I wasn't buying anything about the Cleveland Browns hype train last year because I thought they had the 2 worst starting tackles in the NFL. So at pick 10, they're getting Wirfs. That's really good value. Pick 11, the Jets. Now, you look at the Jets in free agency, Robbie Anderson's the big guy that they're probably going to lose. And there's some wide receivers. You got Jerry Jeudy here. I personally think I might go wide receiver if I was running the Jets, if I was Joe Douglas, just to get that wide receiver 1 for Darnold. However, you got to build a line. Their line is horrific. And with Andrew Thomas still sitting there at 11, a guy that might be the best tackle in the class, that could have provided itself to be an unreal value. And the Jets have been, over the last couple of years, teams that they're a team that has got really good value. I remember one year, Leonard Williams was almost number 2 on everyone's big board. And he slipped to the Jets. Quinnen Williams fell in their lap last year. Obviously, those guys haven't really panned out, But I think Andrew Thomas at 11, you can't go wrong with that pick. Get yourself your franchise tackle for the next 10 years with Sam Darnold. Pick 12, the Raiders, they're smiling from ear to ear, being able to select Jerry Jeudy at pick 12, debatably the best wide receiver in the draft class for a team that is incredibly wide receiver hungry. Couldn't even tell you. Did they even have someone go over 1,000 yards last year? You got Tyrell Williams. They traded for Zay Jones. You got dude from Clemson in the slot, white guy. So they need a playmaker. They need a big time playmaker in a brand new market in Vegas. You need exciting players, and Jerry Jeudy is all of that and much, much more. Pick 13, the Indianapolis Colts. This is probably the first one. I'm not going to love the pick, but I think it makes sense. It's clear to me that they are not in on Jacoby Brissett. That's clear. And I think that if you're looking at the alternatives, if that's your decision, and you're looking at the alternatives, would you rather get Jordan Love a little bit, a guy that needs some refining for sure? Would you rather get Jordan Love, spend a premium pick on him, and get a guy that Frank Reich stylistically has been able to mold, proven with the Philadelphia Eagles with Carson Wentz? Or do you get somewhere you can go wide receiver or something like that, and then you get a veteran. You get a Phillip Rivers, you get a Mariota. Some of these names are getting fluffed around here. I think if it's me, knowing that a team like Indy needs a quarterback, and they're probably never going to pick, at least next year when the quarterback class is great, they're still not going to probably have a top 5 pick. They're too well built of a roster. I think Jordan Love's the option here. Get Jordan Love and let Frank Reich develop him. It's not a popular pick. I don't particularly love that idea. 13 for Love is it's not nowhere near, Daniel Jones reaching, but I don't know. I feel like right now that's the move to make. Going to pick 14, the Bucks. The Bucks have a lot of free. This is a tough mock because I don't know what the roster is going to look like. I mean, they got JPP, Shaq Barrett, Ndamukong Suh set to be free agents. Jameis Winston, Brashad Perriman, who broke out. DeMar Dotson, franchise. Well, seemingly he's been there forever. Franchise tackle. For me, there's no quarterbacks that they're going to pick. They could go running back if they really want to get a dynamic play. DeAndre Swift, I wouldn't hate that. Assuming they get a veteran at quarterback, and they're not going to go that direction. Their secondary has been garbage. Someone like Christian Fulton, Grant Delpit's still there. Epineza fits the scheme. I think he can play 3-4. However, I think it's about time they get a bona fide tackle, studded tackle. They get Jedrick Wills, right tackle, can replace Dotson. If you bring back Winston, you finally give him a legit tackle. It's not a pretty pick, but it's probably the best pick to make. And knowing that Bruce Arians is an offensive guy, maybe go and tackle. It makes most sense. But, again, it's just Bucks are a tough team to mock right now because we have no idea how the roster. If they keep Winston, then it starts to become a little bit easier. If they keep, if they re-sign Shaq Barrett, franchise tag, then they have an edge rusher. They could go Chason. They could go Chin. I will say this. At the end of the day, much like pick 7 there for the Panthers where they had Derek Brown and Isaiah Simmons, I think there's no real way the Bucks can mess up pick 14 with how this board. There's so much talent, so many guys that fit their team. I think Bucks are going to be happy with whoever they get at 14. Hopefully you guys watching this are happy with Wills. Pick 15. Oh, this is going to happen. This is going to be so annoying. I think Henry Ruggs, I'm not going to be shocked because, there is some talent on the board. But with the trading for Boye, really the only alternative here for the Denver Broncos was maybe go corner. Maybe get someone like Christian Fulton. They're set. Chris Harris is a free agent. They haven't extended Justin Simmons, I don't think. I was just looking for spot rack, and I didn't see anything. But Ruggs, you got the big arm and Drew Lock. You don't really have that dimension to the wide receiver room right now. You got Cortland Sutton, big time possession guy, not a lot of speed. That's a great pick. That'd be an annoying pick from, like I said, Philly's gonna have to. If you're an Eagle fan, you want Ruggs, you're gonna have to trade up. He's not slipping to 21, even though he was never really gonna do that anyways. You're gonna have to leapfrog the Denver Broncos here. Pick 16, round to the Atlanta Falcons. Edge here, team needs edge, corner, interior defensive line, running back. There's lots of great value there. I think Chasson is more of a 3-4 guy, even though he could work in a 4-3. Epineza, not bad. Kinlaw is... Let's see, who are they losing? Austin Hooper, Vic Beasley, Devondre Campbell are set to be their big free agents. So, there's not going to pick a tight end here. I feel like they with Vic Beasley, I feel like they don't want to get a Chasson who could kind of be a Vic Beasley in that scheme, trying to get a guy that's maybe not the best fit. I'm gonna actually, we'll get them Ebenezer. But safe, he didn't have a great combine, but he wasn't really supposed to. He's a powerful guy, more of a technician. Wasn't always gonna shine at the mini Olympics, the football Olympics here. I think that's a safe pick. A guy that's gonna probably consistently get you 7-10 sacks a year. I don't know if he's ever gonna be all pro, but I think that's a good pick. It's a safe pick for Atlanta. We'll check out with that. Pick 17, the Dallas Cowboys. Corner, safety, interior defensive line. So they are set to lose. Well, we don't know what's going on with Dak, but Amari Cooper's probably going to bounce. Byron Jones, probably going to bounce. So knowing that, they could also go safety depth. I think the pick will be Christian Fulton, the corner from LSU. Really solid corner. Doesn't like to tackle a whole lot, but probably the second best corner in the class. And get him at 17, solid value. Pick 18, second pick here for the Miami Dolphins. So they got Tua. Now you're looking at the board here. I think someone like Chaisson would make the most sense because of that hybrid defense that they're running there. I think he can play a lot of things. He's an incredibly valuable, versatile player. He's probably the second most versatile defensive player after Simmons in this draft. So that's a nice little pick, intriguing pick for Flores there on his defense. Pick 19. The Raiders are back on the board, looking for a linebacker, corner, or safety. Okay, well, there's Carl Joseph, probably going to bounce a free agency, so if you need a linebacker, there's some linebackers here. There's also very good safety in Grant Delpit. So they got Abram. We'll grab him a linebacker. Let's say, who do we got here? I think out of all the linebackers, Patrick Queen, Kenneth Murray. I like Patrick Queen more, but I think the pick would probably be Kenneth Murray. I think he's just a little bit more what John Gruden would like. High character type guy. I mean, that's all they talked about during the combine was how, he had all these, I think he's a bunch of adoptions. I don't know the story. I don't want to butcher it, but we'll have them get a linebacker there. Pick 20. The Jags are back on it. Now they desperately need a corner, and I think they're going to get Henderson, get another Florida guy, even though Florida players have burnt them in the past. They've had some good ones as well. Fred Taylor, but they'll go Henderson. Now Philly's here at 21. As an Eagle fan, this is shaping up not ideal, but there are, I like Jeff Gladden. We need a corner. Grant Delpit at safety. We don't know what's going on with Malcolm Jenkins or Rodney McLeod. Kinlaw would be, I wouldn't hate that pick one damn bit. So this is actually not bad. Even though we don't have Henry Ruggs here, this is not a bad draft board for the Philadelphia Eagles. However, given how we're going with this mock, I think we are going to select with this pick. Oh, it's tough. I see my nose starting to run again. See, I'm trying to hide it. I am going to select Grant Delpit. I'm going to get Grant Delpit and gamble that there's going to be a good wide receiver in the turnaround. See, now this is what the problem with using my draft board is that, for example, Denzel Mims. Everyone knows I'm a Mims fan. He's probably going to be there with the Eagles pick in the second round because of how I rank my rankings. He's probably not. But Grant Delpit for the Philadelphia Eagles, we don't know what's going on with Malcolm Jenkins. We don't know what's going on with Rodney McLeod. I'm going to guess McLeod's going to hit free agency, and we'll find a way to bring Malcolm Jenkins back. So there's going to be a massive hole. We have no depth at safety, and getting a guy in Delpit who played last year, everyone's kind of trending down on him. But last season, clearly he was playing with an injury. I think in terms of true talent, he's probably top 10 in this draft class. So that's good value for the Eagles at 21. Pick 22, the Buffalo Bills. Edge wide receiver. For free agency, Jordan Phillips is the big guy they're about to lose. Could replace that right away in Kinlaw. But I'm more so here. I think that they'll go Justin Jefferson, get their wide receiver, get more weapons. Need more than just Cole Beasley and John Brown. New England at pick 23, edge, interior offensive line, wide receiver, tackle. This is a tough call here because I think I'm going to go back to this. This is a pick I've been making for quite some time, and I still think it's the right call. I'm going to have them get KJ Hamler. The biggest issue with the Patriots last year was explosive plays. They had no explosive plays. If you, at this point at 23, want the guy that can give you the home run hit, the most explosive plays, it's KJ Hamler. He can also be groomed to be a slot wide receiver to take over for Edelman when he gets older. You need someone that can take those short Brady passes because, yes, I do think Tom Brady's going to be your quarterback again next year and take him to the house. And at this point at 23, KJ Hamler does that. Pick 24, we have the New Orleans Saints. They need interior offensive line, wide receiver, linebacker, corner. They're set to, they got to figure out their quarterback situation. I assume Drew Brees is going to be back. Outside of that, Andrews Pete at guard's going to be gone. When I'm looking at the roster here, yeah, they definitely could use a linebacker. They definitely could use, at quarterback. I wouldn't be shocked if they get someone like Fromm. If Fromm somehow sneaks in the first round. But for right now, just going by these needs, going by our draft board, I definitely think for value, for what they need, wide receivers, you got Mims, maybe not at this point. Kinlaw interior defensive line could be pretty nice to come play with Rankins. I, however, am going to have them go with the local kid, Patrick Queen at linebacker. Get him to come in. He can man that defense. Demario Davis. And it's been Demario Davis. You got Anzalone for a little bit, but there's no one else there. Not a lot of depth at linebacker. They've been trying with like Klein and Manti Te'o, but get someone like Patrick Queen, solidify that unit. Pick 25, we have the Minnesota Vikings. Clearly, they're going to go best corner available. Looking at it here, Gladney did. I think that they might not go with Gladney, even though I think they should. I think someone like Trayvon Diggs will be the pick. A little bit more bigger of a name, but either way, you can't go wrong. There's two solid corner options for the Minnesota Vikings. Pick 26, the final selection for the Miami Dolphins. Kinlaw is still there. They got DeAndre Swift, who might be the best running back in the class. Got a safety there. Gross Matos at edge. Gladney at corner. What do we still got for tackle? Not much there in terms of first-round tackles. Bidash is slipping. Injury concerns. This is like the first like stunt. Like Kinlaw makes a lot of sense, but also not really, because they just burn a high pick on Christian Wilkins. So I mean, trying to think of how their offense ran, they shipped out Kenyon Drake. So that leads me to believe that a guy like DeAndre Swift wouldn't be the most valuable. So I'm actually having them pick Jonathan Taylor, the man with the 4.39 speed, a little bit more traditional between the tackles. I think that's more of a fit than DeAndre Swift, who's like a Kenyon Drake, who they basically said goodbye. Moving to pick 27. The Seahawks absolutely need to get an edge rusher, so I am going to have them select Yetur Gross-Matos, high upside edge rusher out of Penn State. A lot better pick than, say, L.J. Collier. Pick 28, we have the Baltimore Ravens. And plus with the Seahawks, we don't even know if they're going to re-sign Jadeveon Clowney at this point, so the edge is already a need. Even if they bring back Clowney. If they lose them, it's even more of a need. Pick 28, we have the Baltimore Ravens, linebacker, interior defensive line. This is an easy one. Go Kinlaw. Makes a whole lot of, perfect fit. 3-4 scheme. He can move all over that defensive line. Pick 29 with the Tennessee Titans. Now, are they going to get a running back? If Derrick Henry's gone, I mean, Tennessee right now, they got Derrick Henry, Jack Conklin set to go. I don't think they have a replacement for Conklin, but, I mean, if Derrick Henry's gone, they're sitting here going, oh, well, fine. We'll get DeAndre Swift, or J.K. Dobbins, but they can wait till the second round. So this is a tough one because I can't see them letting Derrick Henry go. He was so much their offense last year. So at 29, I'm going to actually have them. This might be a little, not surprising. I think it's a fit. I think he definitely helped himself at the combine. He definitely helped himself in the Senior Bowl. I'll have them get Terrell Lewis from Alabama. And this pick is made 100% on the assumption they bring back Derrick Henry. Because if not, DeAndre Swift, easy pick. The easiest pick we're going to make all day. Pick 30, we have the Green Bay Packers. Need a tackle, wide receiver, or tight end. Their free agents meant to be Brian Bulaga and Blake Martinez. I think for this selection, this is going to be sad for me as an Eagle fan. I think Mims might have played himself into first-round contention. I mean, he's exactly what they need. Speedster, brings some great size on the outside, can actually catch the ball, and his route running's not, it's not, don't be thinking that you're getting Devontae Adams, but you're not going to be getting like Valdez Scantling or anything like that. I think Mims will be a very interesting pick, but a pick that needs to happen. They need to go wide receiver, I think, at pick 30, and I think Mims might have done enough to sneak into the first round. Pick 31, we have the 49ers. They need a corner bad, so there you go. Get Jeff Gladney, one of my favorite corners in the draft. Would be a great pick. And, you leapfrog the Kansas City Chiefs, who also debatably needed a corner. However, I'm going to have them select DeAndre Swift. Get a legitimate running back. Damian Williams is set to be a free agent. You get maybe the best running back in the draft, a guy that definitely fits your offense, can do a lot of things, can handle a lot on his plate. I think that's a really nice match made in heaven. And then we're into the second round. Now we're kicked out of the second round with the Bengals. So we got Joe Burrow. So now you're still looking here. How do we fix this team? What is wrong with this team? I think you can't go wrong in building up the offensive line since they need edge rushers. I think that if I'm looking here, looking at my own board, we got Uche there, Neville Gallimore, D tackle. Some of these guys are getting pretty old, pretty long in the tooth. Man, this is interesting. I literally didn't even project how this thing was going to go. So we're here, edge rusher, wide receiver, linebacker. I think at this point, yeah, we'll go Uche. Josh Uche definitely had himself at the Senior Bowl. So we'll get himself an edge rusher there. That doesn't make sense, though. I mean, Dunlap's getting old. Carlos Dunlap's getting old. You really got, Sam Hubbard, and that's it, I suppose. There's upside. The dude from Auburn hasn't really panned out. Carl Lawson kind of fizzled a little bit. So yeah, we'll go Josh Uche at 33. Pick 34. So we have the Colts, who already selected Jordan Love. So next up, they definitely, I actually think they should go wide receiver. And sitting here, who is, yeah, we'll actually have them go LaVisca Chenault, bring some nice size. And it's not just size for the sake of size like they had with Bunches. Pick 35, Detroit, looking for a linebacker, edge rush, someone that can help get after the quarterback. I think they could be looking inside. I'm actually going to have them pick Neville Gallimore. You got rid of Snacks. You need another guy, big space eater in the center of that defense. Gallimore can do that and then some. Shout out to Canada. Big ups to Canada. Pick 36, New York Giants. Looking to finish. Also, pretty much in the same scenario. They could be looking for a linebacker. They could be looking for an edge rusher. They could be looking for a D tackle. I think secondary is where they got beat up a lot. So I'm actually have them go. It worked out well last time they had an Alabama safety. I'm going to select them. Xavier McKinney from Alabama. Pick 37, we have the Chargers, who now have Justin Herbert, but they have to continue to build up this offensive line. I think tackle is a big need for them. So we're going to have them select Lucas Niang from TCU. Kind of a big space eater type guy. I think he can start at right tackle. Pick 38, the Carolina Panthers. Got to get better at run stuffing. So there's no other real way about it. They got a linebacker. They got Isaiah Simmons. They could also look at corner. They're set to lose James Bradbury. So sitting here, I think they could get A.J. Terrell from Clemson. I think that's a great partner in that secondary with Dante Jackson. Complement each other. One's a speedster, one's a little bit longer, but still a good athlete. Pick 39, Miami. So we're looking at the offensive line here. I think, again, there's some upside. I think we'll have them go, we'll get Bidash, even though he's been slipping a little bit. If he passes the medical, much like Tua, if he passes the medical, I think he's the best interior offensive lineman in this draft class. Pick 40, Arizona. Now they can get a very nice looking tackle here. They can get Austin Jackson from USC. I think that comes in and helps out the CD Lamb pick a little bit because you still get a really solid tackle, a guy that's a fringe first rounder. Cleveland, they need a safety. We'll have them get Antoine Winfield from Minnesota. Had helped us up the combine. Showed off that he's a pretty good athlete. We already saw the tape. If you watch any of his tape, he's very exciting for Minnesota. Ball hawk. Absolute ball hawk. We have the Jacksonville Jaguars, who've got a corner interior defensive line. I think wide receiver could be the next selection. And I think personally, even though he's slipping a little bit, I think T. Higgins fits the style that they still need. That big jump ball guy on the outside. They got DJ Chark with speed. D.D. Westbrook slot, but you need the big possession. I think they can get that in T. Higgins. 43, finally the Bears are on the clock. The Bears, they already got rid of Amukamara, Clinton Dix, Danny Trevathan set to be a free agent. Kyle Long retired. So we, for them, what are we looking at here? I think there are some definitely nice corners here. We'll actually have them select Jalen Johnson from Utah. Ran a 4.50. Speed was a concern. Tape looked great at Utah. I think that's a pretty good fit. I think he fits that defense pretty well. 44 with the Indianapolis Colts, who got Chenault. They got Jordan Love. So next would be, well, let's see. We got interior offensive line. They don't really need a center. They could use a guard to go on the opposing of Quentin Westbrook because they've the dude from Auburn plays tackle right now, right for him, right tackle. Interior defensive line, Raekwon Davis, Matabuke. I think, honestly, not really a great scheme fit, though. He's more of a 3-4 as Marlon Day. So we'll have him get Justin Matabuke. I like him as an interior defensive line of A&M, so we'll help him get better D tackle. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers at pick 45. Quarterback, they could get project here for I'm going to have them get Jake Fromm. They'll get their quarterback in the second round. 46, Denver Broncos tackle corner. I think corner's not nearly as much of a need anymore. So we're looking at offensive tackle. Josh Jones from Houston. We got Trey Adams. They could go linebacker. Yeah, I guess they could go linebacker. I'm going to actually have them, because they go that 3-4, I think Marlon Davidson would be a nice fit of defensive end. If they're going to lose Derek Wolfe in free agency, they get a guy like Davidson, high upside, might be able to start as a rookie. Pick 47. After selecting A.J. Epineza, the Falcons are back on the clock, needing a corner. They got to go secondary. I think when you think about them, unfortunately, my boy from Florida, Keanu O'Neal, has unable to stay healthy, but you're going to hope that he can stay healthy. And then you prioritize getting another corner than you do, say, a safety. But look at that. I mean, Bryce Hall is good value. Darnay Holmes, I think, helped his draft stock out a little bit. We'll have him go with value. We'll have him get Bryce Hall here. A guy that had a lot of first-round buzz, but he's been hurt. He's been banged up with injury, so it's kind of in that Sidney Jones role where it's like you don't know exactly what you're getting, but on tape, he was really, really good. Pro Football Focus darling and all that. Jets up at pick 48. Got their tackle. I think wide receiver is where they should look, and then we'll have them select Jalen Reagor, wide receiver from TCU. They lost the speed from Robbie Anderson in free agency. You were getting that back in Jalen Reagor, who obviously wasn't as fast as a lot of people were expecting at the combine, but still a really nice wide receiver. Pittsburgh gets their first selection again. I mean, there could be that whole Tua to the Redskins, and they might use this pick to get Dwayne Haskins, which is possible. But they're actually set to lose some guys in free agency. Pittsburgh, Mike Hilton, Javon Hargrave, Bud Dupree, Vance McDonald. So there are some areas that they could go. I think, honestly, I feel like Pittsburgh's a team because they don't have a first-round pick. I haven't been paying a whole lot of attention to like their immediate needs. So I'm going to assume that they could use, just from watching, like what has Pittsburgh not been good at? Zach Bond kind of fits their mold. Aquara, Darrell Taylor, like they run that 3-4. I just don't know who they're going to sign because if they bring back Hargrave, then they have their nose tackle. You know what? I'm going to actually have them select a tight end. Might as well get the best tight end in the class. Good value, not reaching in the second round. And when was the last time they had an elite tight end? Like Heath Miller? So there you go. Get yourself a tight end there. Pick 50. Bears back on the clock. Okay. Who do we have them? We got them Jalen Johnson. They got a corner. They also could be looking for a tight end. Obviously, what he called hasn't worked out there nearly as good as he did in Philly. Trey Burton could use a safety. I think safety's probably the best one. We'll have him get Kyle Duggar. He had to really helped himself at the combine a whole lot. And if they're letting Hal Clinton Dix go, they already lost Amos. Guy like Duggar, real good athlete. I think he could probably play fairly early in his rookie career. Pick 51, the Dallas Cowboys. So we're assuming they have Dak, but they're probably going to lose Amari Cooper, which is speed. So if we're looking for speed on the outside, man, I'm telling you right now, I'm an Eagles fan, and these wide receivers are not looking like what I'm looking for here. I mean, Claypool brings the height, weight, speed that you're kind of looking for. However, if they still need a safety, which they are, I think that they could select. It'll reach a little bit, but another guy that helped himself to the combine, very similar to Byron Jones when they select him. I'm actually have them get Jeremy Chin, the safety of Southern Illinois. Maybe the best combine for any of the safeties. Tape looked pretty good, like that linebacker hybrid. So if they want to retool their secondary here, I think Chin can complete the deal. Rams are following the clock, pick 52. They are losing Corey Littleton, Andrew Whitworth, Dante Fowler. May not losing them, but let's be honest, they have no money. So I think tackle is where they're going to go, and they are going to select Josh Jones, high upside tackle from Houston. Philadelphia on the board after selecting Grant Delpit. Immediately regretting, because now the wide receivers that are here aren't amazing. And if I'm Philly, and this is the draft board, I don't know if I'm picking one of these wide receivers, because you have big, tall guy, already got it. Big, tall Pac-12, already got it. Duvernay, solid, but not exactly what we need. More of a slot than he is an outside burner. Ayuk didn't help him. It's like Van Jefferson might be the best pick here. What do we got? Linebacker. Okay. Jesus, corner. Darnay, I like Darnay Holmes. But I feel like I can't do a mock draft the Eagles without coming up with a wide receiver. Philly needs a guy with speed. I hate this. Can I restart this mock draft 33 minutes in for the Philadelphia Eagles? Jesus. Because I don't like any of these guys. This is me mocking for them. What's the big board look like? Can we go best player available anywhere? J.K. Dobbins still on the board. Raekwon Davis. I don't. I'm disgusted with myself. This is not good. We'll go Duvernay, I guess. I wouldn't hate that one the most. Of all the wide receivers, he's probably the one I hate the least. But my God, this is the worst thing about doing my ratings. So I'm gonna get, like I said, it's annoying. I knew this was gonna happen. Okay, knew this was gonna happen. Devin Duvernay, Grant Delpit. I hate my own mock draft for my own team. Pick 54. Looking for an edge rusher here for the Buffalo Bills. They get a very safe one in Curtis Weaver. Guys, there's no way he's going to be bad, but he might not have the highest ceiling. I think that's a safe pick. 55, the Atlanta Falcons. They got a corner, they got an edge looking interior defensive line, or they just go, ha ha, give me J.K. Dobbins. Big 56, the Miami Dolphins need a tackle, corner, or safety. So looking at safeties, some nice ones. Corners, okay. Well, we got an offensive tackle. Trey Adams, corner, safety, linebacker. We'll have him get Darnay Holmes. I think he's played himself into the second round. Pick 57, Houston Texans finally have a pick. They are losing potentially DJ Reader, Carlos Hyde, Lamar Miller, Bradley Roby, Jonathan Joseph. I think they got to go secondary, even though because there's just too much value at running back here that they'll probably be able to get a running back when whatever their next pick is. They'll be fine. So I think they'll go in the secondary. But again, there's not a lot of great corners left at this point because Dantzler and Arnett are the two corners that probably hurt their stock the most from the combine. Maybe we go running back at this point, Edwards-Helaire. Even though they probably should go corner, there's not a great amount of talent left at the cornerbacks. But at least for second round, I don't get any second round grades on the rest of those guys that are left. Pick 58, a team that already got their corner in the Minnesota Vikings. They're looking for interior defensive line, and they're going to get Raekwon Davis. That's great value there. Guy that didn't have a great year, but still very high upside, good motor. Seattle at pick 59, they need O-line. So we can actually have them get... Muti played a lot of bench press. I think a lot of people are talking about Cesar Ruiz, so we'll grab him. He can play center or guard. Very flexible in the interior of the offensive line. Baltimore up at pick 60, looking for a linebacker, edge rusher, in case they lose Matt Judon. I'm actually going to skip with Zach Bond, and I'm going to have him go Darrell Taylor. I think Darrell Taylor has a whole lot of upside, and I think, when you look at the tape, I like it a little bit more than Bond. I'm not nearly as high in Bond as some people. I haven't been overly impressed with him, to be completely honest with you. So we get Darrell Taylor. 661, Tennessee Titans, looking to probably, obviously they want to replace Jack Conklin at this place. If we had to talk about a tackle that played themselves into consideration, I actually think Ezra Cleveland could be a nice little selection there. Come in and play right tackle. Another team that might need a tackle is Green Bay. I don't know why they have tight end there. I think you got to trust Jay Sternberger can develop. Maybe a linebacker to come in and replace Blake Martinez. So we're actually going to get Akeem Davis-Gaither. Really nice converged safety, smaller, but more traditional and can actually cover, unlike Blake Martinez. Pick 63, Kansas City Chiefs looking for a corner. You could probably burn one on a corner. I know a lot of people are high on this guy, so we'll have them get him. I'm not whatsoever. Noah Igbong. Here you go. Get him. Pick 64. Wow, Seattle got a lot of second-round picks. Okay. Well, what do we need here? Interior defensive line. They can get probably Blacklock is fairly hyped. Oh, that was the final pick, Ross Blacklock. There you go. Get your D tackle. A lot of people are higher on him than me, so getting him in the second round is good values. I've seen him in mock drafts go in the first round. So there we go. Thanks for spending over a half hour with me as we did a mock draft. Hopefully I didn't do a terrible job for your team. I think overall we did pretty well. Literally the team that I think we mocked the worst would be the Eagles. Devin Duvernay, I mean, it's just, it is what it is. I think anyways. But I hope I did a good job for your team. Hope you guys enjoyed this mock draft. We are going to start. The reason why I did this right now is because I'm getting ready to do the 32-team 7-round mocks. And when I always want to submit a mock draft before I do that so I can get a true read. Because obviously we always see this team needs for all these other ones. But I like hearing what you guys think about your team needs. Because, I mean, for Philly, let's just see. Corner, linebacker, wide receiver, safety. Well, okay, that's correct, right? But quarterback probably shouldn't be because we need a backup. Sometimes running backs, we probably don't need a running back. Sometimes these aren't correct. So I like getting a true read from you guys about where you feel your teams really need to go try and get better. But thank you guys for watching. As always, I busted out the starter jacket. Get the drip. I'm doing this for you guys. So I hope you guys did enjoy it. As always, first time stopping by, don't be afraid to hit that subscribe button. Smash the like button if you enjoyed. More mock drafts, more draft content coming in the coming weeks. So I hope you guys stay tuned for that. And I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace out.